What's up, y'all? This is Reggie White, aka Bullet, aka Speed and Bullet, and this is the Speed and Bullet podcast channel. Don't forget to like if you like this type of content and want us to keep this going. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified whenever we drop any new content or whenever we go live. Also, don't forget to share if you think that someone else might find this channel interesting, might find the topics that we cover something that interests them. Don't hesitate to share this with who you think might find some value in it. And last but not least, do not hesitate to comment and engage with the channel, with the platform. That's what it's here for, to exchange ideas, to express how you feel about different things. But when you comment, don't forget to let us know where you're commenting from. It's good to know what city, what state, just so we can kind of get an idea of how far this thing is reaching. So what I want to talk about today is going to be Jay-Z, and more specifically, Jay-Z's acceptance speech, remarks, whatever you want to call it, after he received his Grammy from his Grammy that is named after Dr. Dre. And just wanted to kind of unpack what Jay-Z said and what he didn't say, but also how people felt about his speech initially and then moving forward. So gonna just jump right in there and start discussing it. So for myself, when I sat there watching the Grammys, which is not something that I do often, but tuning in, saw Jay-Z get the award, brought his daughter up there. It was a very nice moment, and then Jay-Z started to talk, and I think that the things that he mentioned about Beyonce, about his wife, his partner, the person that he is going to support no matter what. The things that he said about Beyonce, I feel as though are true. That Beyonce has the most Grammy wins in history, but has not achieved what most consider the most important Grammy, which is Album of the Year, which is a Grammy that has eluded her. So Jay-Z put that on notice, that he felt as though it was unfair that she has not received a Grammy for this particular achievement. Now, you had a bunch of people had a lot to say about that particular moment, and some of them were, there was a beautiful moment. He was taking up for his wife. He was always supporting her, definitely supporting her, and wanted to kind of put things into perspective, but also to be critical of the Grammys and how they give out awards. So I felt as though that was a very good moment, for Jay-Z to support his wife, to support a black woman in public is always an amazing thing. However, as Jay-Z continued to talk and to speak, I think that there was some, and he said this. He said that he was nervous, and when he he's nervous, he starts to ramble on again. So I think that there was some conflict with Jay-Z and with some of the things that he said, but also, about how he really feels about the Grammy. So, but fascinating, just a fascinating moment of what I thought was Jay-Z, like I said, being conflicted in what he wanted to say, how he felt, what he felt as though was appropriate for the moment, and then trying to balance and settle all of that in 2 minutes in front of the world. So what he mentioned that I thought was interesting was just about music and about how subjective music is, especially to those who are judging music that those who are associated with the Grammys that judge this music. What type of bias comes with those judgments, and has that bias helped Beyonce? Has it hurt her? And what does that mean about these biases moving forward? So I think that when Jay-Z pivoted from, when Jay-Z pivoted from, this is unfair that Beyonce has not gotten this accolade. When he pivoted from that and went to well, we all know that music is biased. I think Jay-Z missed the moment right there, because I think by codifying that initial reaction and this that initial statement and what something that as he's probably thought about, as an artist, and her as his wife probably thought about the fact that she has never received the Grammy for Album of the Year, and I think that Jay-Z wanted to go just dive deeper into why that is, but I think he missed the mark by just kind of chalking it up to music just being subjective. I think that he missed a moment to be able to really like hammer down a point that yes, music is subjective. However, having more diversity in the folks who are giving out these accolades is how music can be, how music can be just not only just enjoyed but understood from different just from different people and different opinions. So having people in a room is definitely something that should help these award shows moving forward. But like I said, I think Jay-Z kind of missed the moment right there where he could have like driven that point home about it being bias as opposed to preference. And when you start to have that type of conversation, then it becomes a whole lot deeper than just than just music. So like I said, I think Jay-Z kind of missed the moment. Now, while he was continuing his speech, he started to mention, and that's why I say I feel like he was conflicted. He started to mention about other boycotts that he has seen, heard, and participated in because of the lack of representation of rap music. We'll just say that's his genre of music. But because of the lack of representation, starting with Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff not attending the Grammys, himself not attending the Grammys because he felt as though he's protesting because he felt as though DMX was deserving of being nominated. DMX had 2 #1 albums in that year, and he felt as though him protesting by not going, what was the right thing to do at that moment. However, he, ended that portion of the story by saying that he still watched the Grammys, same as Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, they still watch the Grammys. So that made me think a little bit about how Jay-Z kind of, and he said this, he was like, what type of protest was that? That made me kind of think back to Colin Kaepernick and something that I felt at the moment when Jay-Z partnered up with the NFL, that it was done deliberately to, take momentum away from Colin Kaepernick and his putting the NFL on notice and on blast for what they did to his career, and how just protesting protesting it all the way through affected his career. Now, Jay-Z, he pretty much said that though the protests that he mentioned were kind of not really protests. And like I said, I thought about Colin Kaepernick and his protest being a real protest where it actually affected him. It affected his life. It affected his career. It affected his brand. And he actually lost something because he was standing on principle. And the principle that he was standing on was just very basic. Like, I am using my platform in order to bring awareness to, what I felt as though has not gotten enough awareness, where there is some change, and that is, police brutality. That's his thing. That is his cause, and he put that out there for the public to for the public for the public to scrutinize, and he lost a lot because of that. Now, the next thing I think about is Jay-Z gained, which when you think about it is unbelievable. But Jay-Z gained as a result of Colin Kaepernick's protests. Jay-Z was given an opportunity to now become a part of what the NFL does and produce or excuse me, what the NFL does and produce a part of their halftime show, which Jay-Z, he counted that as a win. I didn't count that as a win. I counted that as almost like a breaking of the picket line. We're protesting while you are making deals, but behind our back. And I felt like it was the wrong time to start to partner up with folks who we know are systematically keeping this man out of football, but also trying to silence what he represents. And not to mention, what he represents is actually something that is positive and beneficial to our people. So for Jay-Z to kind of step on that, but also within him stepping on that, he was asked, what does this mean in comparison or just in conjunction with Colin Kaepernick's his protest. And Jay-Z, I felt as though dismissed what Colin Kaepernick's protest had brought forward, and he simply was like, well, that's over. Now it's time to move on and do some more things. And it's like, well, we're talking about protesting of police brutality. As far as I know, that's not over. So was it just was the Jay-Z just do this for another opportunity to make money, another opportunity to expand his brand? It's something that I've given a lot of thought to, and something I was very, very, very critical of Jay-Z for taking the spotlight off of what Colin Kaepernick was attempting to do, and now pivoting that to, okay, let's make a halftime show. I don't see how making a halftime show where black people have always been, they've always been a part of the entertainment of football and of any sporting event. Black people have always been a part of the entertainment, so they've always been a part of halftime shows and things of that nature. How is it that Jay-Z now having whatever kind of position, whatever kind of power to influence the or to sit on some table that has to do with entertainment with the NFL? What did that have to do, or what does that have to do with police brutality? Absolutely nothing. But that kind of makes me kind of just circle back to, what about protests? And Jay-Z's lack of, I would say, lack of strength in maintaining that position, that strong position of protest and being against what you already know is wrong. So, I mean, I think that when you think about him, pretty much standing up for Beyonce, but also when you think about what I feel like he wanted to say, but it's hard to say that because of your actions. So it's hard to be very critical of the Grammys while you're showing up to the Grammys. while you're getting an award. It's very difficult to be extremely critical because you are a part of this. You're a part of this establishment, and your presence, or more so, removing your presence is much more valuable than going there and saying, you know, just saying some some incoherent criticism of the Grammys, but you're there, and that's where I feel like he missed the mark. That he had an opportunity to probably change history, and and I know part of what he said was he didn't want to disrespect Dr. Dre, and because that's who the award is named after. Two of the most kind of like ironic like moments, like you have Dr. Dre, who this award is named after, who started off as a rapper, producer, now icon, however way, but started off as a rapper. Jay-Z, his career was built on rap music. These guys are accepting and giving an award. However, the actual category of best rap album wasn't even televised. It wasn't even given the respect of televising it. However, you are giving an award for a person whose lifetime achievements, two of them, has been predominantly in rap music. Like how do you settle that? Like how do you settle that? Now, what I thought was interesting, I saw this online, was it was a it was the actual footage, because it was film of him of Killer Mike getting the award. So what I thought was interesting is I saw the actual footage of the category, announcing of everyone in the category, of Killer Mike getting the award, very, very brief remarks after he got the reward. I swear it was no more than a minute. Like if that, no more than a minute and a half. If it was 2 minutes, that would be stretching it. But no more than a minute and a half. Now, why is that important? Out of all things that you could remove from, I don't know how long this broadcast was, and I'm sure it was a lot of things that was removed. However, you got Dr. Dre and Jay-Z, both rappers, both icons. The category that Jay-Z had taken issue with is still not right. And it's still not being broadcast. And it only lasted a minute and a half. So, like I said, I think Jay-Z felt the moment, and I think that he felt the pressure of the moment. The pressure of actually stepping out there, and to step out there and to protest and to actually lose things to feel some pain, whether or not it's financial pain, whether or not it's positions that you hold. I mean, that is something that I don't think Jay-Z has been or is willing to take that moment and actually give it some real steam. So I think that's kind of why a lot of what his speech was saying was mostly incoherent. Like, we really didn't know where he was going with it. He was kind of joking. He was trying to take shots, but not really. He wasn't really himself. Jay-Z does not strike me as someone who's at a loss of words, who has difficulty speaking in front of people. I mean, he's a trained performer. He has all of those things. So for him to get up there nervous, I think that his head was not matching what was in his heart. And I think that what he really wanted to say is that the Grammys is crap, right? He wanted to say that Grammys was crap. He didn't want to step on anybody's toes. And I think that he missed the moment. That was the moment to step on people's toes. That was the moment to really, really drive the point home. That was the moment to maybe even start a real protest, not I protest, but I still watch the Grammys. Like, this attitude of, white acceptance, there is a portion of us that want to be a part of this establishment. However, if it's not working for you, you have the ability to enact change. So you pull out the Grammys. Beyonce pulls out the Grammys. Dr. Dre says, you're not using my name to give out any awards, until our music gets the proper respect to be televised, but also, our artists get the proper respect that they get in the musical world. So, like I said, I thought Jay-Z, had an opportunity to really create something big. Had an opportunity to really drive home what I think he feels in his heart. He feels like the Grammys is BS. But I don't think that he wanted to kind of step into that fire, because that's a hot fire to step into. That's a fire that is probably, career wise, it's nothing as good is gonna happen. Career wise, you're gonna lose some things. But when you think about folks like Muhammad Ali, who lost his belts because he stood on principle, he stood on business, and it didn't matter to him. What mattered to him was what was right. And I think that Jay-Z kind of missed that moment. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that, but I always leave you guys with a question. Like, so what do you guys feel about Jay-Z and his speech? Just outside of just him, just really standing up for Beyonce, protecting her honor, her craft, which is amazing that he did that. Amazing that he stood by his wife, stood by a black woman, which is absolutely amazing. The moment with his daughter, absolutely amazing. Gotta give Jay-Z all the credit in the world for using his platform and his moment to be able to shed some light on what he feels as though is incorrect. However, how do you guys feel about the rest of the speech? How do you guys feel about his slight criticism of the Grammys, his slight criticism of different moments of protest of the Grammys that has not really changed anything? The same thing that happened in the late 80s with Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff award not being televised. The same thing happened in 2024. What has really changed? The same way that we feel as though Beyonce has been deserving of Album of the Year. They were saying that years ago. They were saying that in the 80s. When certain folks won Album of the Year over just iconic albums. So I'm just very, very curious to see what you guys have to say. So don't forget, you like this video, hit the like. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you like what we're doing over here. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe gives you the opportunity to be notified when we go live or whenever we drop some new material. Don't forget to share. If you know somebody that might be interested in this type of conversation, this type of space, do not hesitate to share this space with them. And also, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to engage with the channel. We want to see where you guys are from, so you guys are checking in from, so we can see how far out this thing can reach. So I'm going to leave you guys at that. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.